This episode is presented to you by NFL Sunday Ticket, now on YouTube and YouTube TV. With NFL Sunday Ticket on YouTube and YouTube TV, you can watch your favorite teams' out-of-market Sunday games, plus watch up to 4 games at once with Multiview. Don't miss the race to the playoffs. NFL Sunday Ticket is now just $39 when bundled with YouTube TV, where you get even more football. Visit youtube.com/Spotify offer to sign up now. Lowest price on YouTube TV with base plan. Rest of 2023 season. Terms and embargoes apply. No cancellations.
This episode is brought to you by Chevrolet. Now's your chance to support a team with real grit. The Chevy ZR2 family of off-road trucks. The first ever Silverado HD ZR2 joins the all-new Colorado ZR2 and the Silverado ZR2 for a commanding lineup of off-road ready trucks, equipped to take on anything this season throws their way. Visit Chevy.com to learn more.
'Tis the season to shine with H&M. Discover the holiday collection and find fashionable pieces for your wardrobe or for under the tree. Get inspired and dazzle with this year's glam. From tuxedo styles, bow detailed pieces, impressive prints, and more. From unforgettable looks to unforgettable gifts. With fashion finds to home decor, find it all at H&M. Treat your loved ones and yourself this season. Shop in-store or at hm.com.
Reboot your credit card with Apple Card, the credit card created by Apple. It gives you unlimited daily cash back that you can now choose to grow in a high-yield savings account that's built right into the Wallet app. Apply for Apple Card now in the Wallet app on iPhone and start growing your daily cash with savings today. Apple Card subject to credit approval. Savings is available to Apple Card owners subject to eligibility requirements. Savings accounts provided by Goldman Sachs Bank USA. Member FDIC. Terms apply.
Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back at it again. Our football team really does have us drinking this time. We are live on location. Well, we're not live, but we are on location, recording from Strange Days Brewing, and we're very excited about this, aren't we, guys?
Yeah, cheers, everybody.
Very much so.
This is a better way of doing a podcast. It's a little more cheerful after a loss like that. Another loss like that?
Not sitting around moping around somebody's dining room table.
Yes. Yes. We got beers, and we're feeling a lot better about this. So, and we have an announcement to make for this show. It's a good day.
It is pretty exciting, yeah.
For the Blue Testament and Shades of Blue. We are, speaking of strange days, we have organized a Blue Testament watch party for the game on June 25th. The Seattle Sounders, we're away at Seattle Sounders.
That is the perfect game.
Right?
Yeah.
It's away, so all of you, we know you guys won't be at the game, and you can come join us. We're trying to get the whole Blue Testament crew here. We got a big squad. It's not just going to be us four, but us four are going to be there, correct? That is, we're all good. We will be on hand.
I plan on being there.
I'm a soft commit.
Okay, David's a soft commit.
I want to be a hard commit, but no promises.
Okay, he has children.
No, that's not the issue.
He has a wife.
That's not the issue either.
We do too much blaming of the wives on
issue,
this show.
David?
I don't know how much longer I can watch this team play before ending it for myself.
We're trying to
I'm going to
get
become
the people,
a Union Omaha fan.
We're trying to get the people excited to come join this watch party, and you're telling them you're not even going to come.
Come punch me in the face at the watch party.
There we go.
If you hate my takes, come punch me in the face.
Yes, this is your chance to yell at us for not saying Fire Vermes enough on this show. The plan is we'll be doing a watch party. We're going to have as many of the Blue Testament crew there as we can. And then immediately following the game, we're going to we will be recording live on location. Haha, that's cool. A post-game show that you guys can watch us record, sit around a table, and maybe that'll be cooler.
Yeah. I think we should invite a few fans to join us, like one of us step away and let a fan.
Oh, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, it's going to be a party.
Yeah, I'm very excited about that. New bright days ahead for Shades of Blue and the Blue Testament.
We may have to watch Cody's intake, though.
Indeed.
Keep an eye on it.
Especially during a Sounders game.
I'm not watching Cody on any day.
We can crowdsource calf rankings.
Okay. So, yes, guys, Strange Days Brewing, June 25th.
June 25th. That's the day, right?
It is a 2 p.m. kickoff.
And we'll be here around 1.
We'll be here.
And Cody will be blacked out around 4.
All right, hey,
If I'm getting here at 1,
maybe you ought to have a calves competition. Seriously, have the people who show up, have the ladies here judge the top calves of the guys? I don't know.
Rating the body parts of the Blue Testament crew here. I like it.
I'm already out.
Yeah.
I didn't say of the Blue Testament
Pass.
crew. I said of who shows up.
Chad's already bronzing his legs.
We
Yes.
can give a Union Omaha scarf as a prize. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, we're pumped for the Union Omaha game, but this episode here is for regular season Sporting KC talk.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Yes, sir.
So you went from the high to the low.
Oh yeah, good things are happening in Sporting right now. We're not going to talk about that. Let's talk about the bad league play here. So another loss, 2-1 versus New England Revolution. A very frustrated Peter Vermes. Yes, that's the ambiance here. But that's what I like, live on location, guys. I like the ambiance.
It was a timely laugh.
So 2-1, Peter Vermes points to the referees, which, I'm going to say that that's fair. There are things he was upset about, but
Mainly one call.
it doesn't. Which impacted the game. But, the arguments. The argument against him saying anything while your team is just underperforming and not good enough, I can understand all of that.
Wait, I missed this. What call is he mad about? What?
When Kyrie was taken down and no call, and the ball went the other way, and that's the play that they scored on.
Their first goal was a counter, or the second goal was a counter attack.
Okay.
So I actually thought Penso had a pretty decent game most of the game. I thought most of the calls were pretty accurate, fair. I mean, I didn't complain about Uri going out with a red.
No, I think we got better when he left. Uri, we're not happy with Uri on this show. We don't like to be mean to players, but we got to do that, right? We don't toe the company line here on this show. We get mad at players.
How do you think Kitman felt about what Uri did to his jersey?
He does this. Okay, so David's referring to a picture that was going around of Uri who rolls up his shorts and rolls up his sleeves. The shorts are a common thing. Often it's just one. He does both, and he does both shoulders as well. And he looks goofy. But it wasn't just this game. He does this. He's been doing it all season.
Not the sleeves.
Yes.
No, not the
this
sleeves.
extent.
But it's a fascinating choice for a guy who's objectively in better shape than me, but Uri's not carved up like Cristiano Ronaldo. Like, if we're rating body parts, Uri's not like a body part rating kind of guy.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. He's
You
not
gotta work
filling
with
out
what
that
you got,
jersey.
man. I mean, come on.
And he's also a ginger, and he pulls those up and just exposes white everywhere. Like, I definitely agree.
But he's a ginger, so he's not very as heat tolerant as others. So
I know it's a dangerous game he's playing there, exposing himself like that. I speak from personal experience.
And it's a dangerous game he's playing on the field. But anyway,
Scissor tackling somebody
that was very good.
while I'm a yellow was a real choice.
He got the ball though.
yeah, but then he kicked out anyway.
Yeah, no, that was a bad tackle. That's the definition of it doesn't matter anymore if you get the ball. Like maybe that's old school soccer fans talk about a day where you could tackle from behind as long as you got the ball, but no more. And that was a bad.
you could
a
chop
bad tackle.
legs in half as long as you got to the ball at some point.
His first yellow was really bad too. I mean, it was definitely a foul. It's definitely the right call, but he tugged on a shirt, got away with it, and then tugged on a shirt again.
Yeah.
After he got beat, but in the opposition half, not even in a spot where it mattered that he got beat. I mean, they were so far away from goal, nothing was going to happen.
And
it was
I
just
got
a really cheap foul.
I got frustrated because Twellman even gave him a shout out. That was a fantastic play from Uri there, and he was just running back, and the ball got kicked right into his path, and I think he cleared it. But yeah, he's just not there this year.
He did make a few decent plays and decent passes. I mean, but yeah, it's the ones that were not good were really not good.
Like, we talk about the roster construction, and obviously the two big injuries have hurt more than anything. But if that signing right there, I think if this signing goes differently, if Uri is closer to what he used to be, I think this team would look a lot different. Or if he could stay on the field also.
And don't forget that Jose Mauri was probably penciled in to play the 6.
I do. I forget about Jose Mauri every day.
Uri would have been, battling him for minutes at the 6, or, coming in off the bench, or the odd occasional game, not being counted on to be the starter. I think that may have played a role into it too. So Jose and Peter not getting along may have doomed the 6.
Well, and now moving forward, Uri's going to be suspended. Jose Mauri is in Narnia playing football somewhere.
Gone.
I don't, who cares?
I think back in Italy.
Yeah. Oh, do you not read Mike Kuhn's updates? Do you not read the Blue Testament?
Is he actually signed? Is he actually signed?
No,
No, he has
link.
not.
Exactly.
He has not.
I read Mike. You don't read this. You don't read the site. Get out of here.
Yeah, I just hopped on that. I didn't read it. I just wanted to.
Remy.
No, that was a good one though, Cody.
Remy's in a boot. After
Remy's
the
in
game.
a boot.
Yeah.
So who's going to play the 6?
Well, you got Roger, Felipe,
Cam Duke.
Cam Duke.
All
Utility
natural
man.
defensiveness. All natural defensive midfield.
Shall we?
Hey, Fontes used to play that.
Yeah, Fontes has played for this team.
Yeah.
The 6.
Johnny
before.
Russell.
Johnny.
He
Leave
can make
Johnny.
some passes. He could be, tenacious on some tackles.
And they're not expecting.
I've heard stupider ideas.
They're not
Zusi.
expecting someone to make
Actually-
a run from that position either.
Honestly, I would actually be kind of interested to see Zusi.
Would you?
Wow.
Yeah,
Because-
David coming around.
Because it doesn't require him to run up and down the field as much as playing right back. He's got the passing range
yeah. Yes.
to be that deep lying playmaker, so he's not going to play it like he's going to be, I guess, closer to Ilya, but more like a Busio. I would not mind seeing Zusi play there, and also it gets Caden Pierre on the field.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree with you. I've said that before. I wouldn't mind seeing him there. I don't know if I would like to see him there. He tried at least.
Speaking of Graham Zusi, I know you guys saw this 36-year-old run down a player on a recovery run, down a striker
Yeah.
that he was behind. He was 2 steps behind.
Yep.
And my man ran him down.
I know, and he was running right at me, so I got a good photo of him running. I mean, it doesn't, it's just
Yeah,
him
my
running,
neighbor
but-
next to me, Terry, was like, "Oh, I didn't expect that from Zusi."
No, that was such a
Wish I had a
beautiful
month
play.
off.
That I genuinely loved seeing that. Thad, you and I were there at the training ground on Tuesday, one rainy Tuesday, and I peeked out the window. I don't know if I'm even supposed to know this, but I peeked out the window, and Zusi's out there recovering from an injury after training, running in the rain, doing drills. And it's just that guy works as hard as anyone in this league, and you know that run he made had to just feel so good after he got back. The crowd gave him an applause, and the camera cut away right at the wrong time. But I think I even saw him kind of applaud himself a little bit. So I know that had to feel so good, and I'm proud of him.
I think
I
it was
agree.
more like a go team, like, yeah, we got it, or something like that. But so another interesting little Zusi moment, because people don't give Zusi enough credit. He is not as
I agree,
fast as
David.
he used to be. But the guy is a workout monster. He was off for a month or whatever it was, and he comes back and plays 80 some odd minutes of a very warm day. And a little interesting thing I noticed when they went to the first of the 2 hydration breaks per half, he was about to throw the ball in, and he goes, "What?" And he's upset because they're going to hydration break because he
was
just
ready
wants
to go.
keep playing. And I asked him about it after the game, and he's like, "That was stupid. We don't need to do that. That just helped them, not us." He was not happy about that.
Yeah, the water break after 15 minutes threw me.
Yeah,
I know
agreed.
it was hot, but that threw me.
It was hotter than hot. It sucked.
It was. Humble brag, I missed this game because I was at a Crown Club. I got Crown Club seats at the Royals game. So I was sitting
Because
there.
that's a team you want to go.
Did they win?
Well, that's what's funny. I had people ask me if I was going to the sporting game. Said, "No, I'm going to the Royals game." And they're like, "The Royals suck." I'm like, oh yeah, because sporting's so good right now, right? Is that the
Hey,
case?
open cup.
No, it was disgustingly hot. I had seats behind home plate on the broadcast, and I was not even sitting in them because it was so hot.
Okay. All right. So, David, you used the word insane in your comments on our site. Would you care to elaborate here right now? What was insane to you?
Well, there were two things to me. The first was we didn't have any midfielders on the bench because of how the team was set up. And, Roger played 90. Zusi played 89. For 2 guys who are not super young.
That's crazy.
Zusi coming off an injury in conditions and the heat, the mugginess like we had yesterday. It's nuts to me that we didn't sub earlier. And I think that played a huge impact because New England started their subs early on, and around the 75th minute, I think they had 2 subs at the 72nd minute. And they were up a man, but we'd been playing really well up to that point. Once they got
3 subs both by the end of the first half. Well, before the second half.
Yeah, but you know, by the time that 75th minute rolled around, everybody was so dead, and the natural move is to maybe move Cam Duke back in the midfield and sub on a Vasquez or somebody. But we didn't have any midfielders. There's nobody to sub in. I thought that was nuts.
That is nuts.
It's just, but this goes back to roster construction. You know, obviously the injuries are a problem, but at some point you have to think about a formational change or whatever. But the thing that to me was more insane was that we are down a man. It's very loud.
They're getting excited over there.
They like the take. They know the take that's about to come. But pushing forward for that second goal, down a man, was to me the definition of insane, because we looked dangerous on a couple different plays. I think who was it? Johnny put one right at the keeper. A tree wouldn't have saved it, but this guy did. And I can't remember who had the other shot. I don't remember either. But New England was drawing us in. We had possession. They got very compact, and then started hitting us on the counter, over and over and over. And it's at no point nobody realized we're down a man in bad conditions with the oldest back line in the league. Why are we pushing everybody forward when we could just take a point and move on? And to me, that was insane.
I've decided that I'm just gonna dig my toes in on Jose Mauri. I'm blaming the whole season on him.
Not Polito?
No.
Not Kinda?
No, Jose Mauri.
Not Vermes?
I don't even really know what happened there. Well, see, that's the funny thing about this is it's like we're talking about Uri and Jose Mauri as like signings that didn't work out, but it's, you know, if you're doing the buck stops here, Vermes is the one that signed them. And it's, you know, whatever, we don't know exactly what happened with Mauri. You just alluded to that it was like him and Vermes just didn't get along. Maybe you know something that we don't know, but, you know, that could have just been he was just an asshole and, like, he shouldn't be on the team. Yeah. And so, you know, it's hard to place blame there. So I'm just going to dig my toes in. I'm blaming Jose Mauri because he's not here.
I think that's a fair, at least, point. So,
Yeah.
I mean, not the whole thing, but yeah.
Doing it the rest of the season. Jose Mauri.
This episode is brought to you by Google Pixel, the official fan phone of the NBA and WNBA. The new Pixel 8 and Pixel 8 Pro are built different. How? Take the Audio Magic Eraser tool that helps block out distracting crowd noise so your play-by-play commentary sounds crystal clear. The only phone engineered by Google brings out the audio you care about so your videos sound as crisp as they look. Learn more at googlestore.com/pixelnba. Audio Magic Eraser requires Google Photos app. May not work on all audio elements.
Okay, so David, do you think
Jose
the thinking was we've got to get 3 points if we want to make the playoffs? That's why we're pushing up. I mean, I totally understand your take. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just asking, do you think that was Vermes' thoughts? We've got to get 3 points here, and we've got an opportunity to do it, so we're going to try.
I mean, I think that's a Thad Bell question because Thad knows Vermes better than I do. I do think to an extent this team, we have an identity. We're a possession-based team. We own the ball. We're, you know, an attacking team who's been pretty successful the last few years. And I think playing against our identity and trying to be a compact bunker and counter team playing without the ball, it's not who we are. And I think that it's easy to slip out of that into your natural habits.
That's the biggest strength and biggest weakness of a Peter Vermes team is that they have that identity. They can always fall back to it when things are going bad, but they can always fall back to it when things are going bad. So it's that's part of that struggle is that when everybody says, oh, just change formation. Well, yeah, a good professional should be able to change formation and do something, but they are so accustomed to being in the 4-3-3, playing that style. And that 4-3-3 doesn't mean always high press, but it usually doesn't mean a bunker. So that is a struggle, and I mean, that's a really good point.
Doesn't that make sense for a small market team, though?
Yeah.
To just have that as a baseline? Like, I think that just is a way to build a small market team for however many years in the future. It's just if you can just have that baseline.
Honestly, I think it's a good way to build any team is to have an identity of here's how you play. there's a tweak here, there's a tweak there. The line of, where you start pressing is different for each game, but having that identity of how you play, I think is good for any team. I mean, from a U10 girls team to a EPL team. So
We're not a small market team.
Okay, that's fair. But we're not an LA or New York.
I mean, we're top half of the league in roster spend, and I mean, for a while we had more players above the DP threshold than anybody else did, other than Miami probably. But we're not a small team.
I don't think that just has to do with, yes, money is a big part of that, but it's about, the struggle we always talk about. The ability of getting a certain level of player here is one issue. So, I don't know. Kansas City is going to have characteristics of a mid-level team, or at least not the top tier of teams.
I think it would be an interesting debate that when we have not a lot of else to do is talk about, is this a small market team? I do think it's a small market team, that the owners are spending more than what they need to do as a small market team. So kudos to them for that.
And the team does better than a lot of small market teams.
Yeah, it's pretty much in that mid-level market, if you want to say that. But because we're not dependent upon the size of the stadium bringing in ticket revenue, because that's the one thing with the salary cap league, and this specifically for MLS is the revenue basically comes from the league for paying your basic salary cap, and then it's the above DP level stuff that comes from owners.
Well, I think we're a small market team as far as size of our stadium, size of our population. We're in the middle of the country, but I think we have owners who are big ambition owners. So in that way, we are not a small market team. Going back to what David said about our salary spend and things like that, I think they have larger ambitions than that.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, should we talk about Nashville Sunday?
Well, can we talk about one more thing in the game?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Peter said that he made the center back subs at halftime because he didn't like the way that the goal was scored against us, the way that was played, and that we didn't play balls out of the back like he'd like us to. And you got to feel sorry for the guy because, then Uri gets his red and the whole plan goes to crap because of that. So you got to feel a bit sorry for Peter. You really can't blame that on him, and that's probably why he was so mad about the call that didn't happen to Kyrie. It kind of just ruined his whole plan. But there's got to be a plan B, right?
You can blame him because he's the person who put the two center backs in the first place.
Yeah, but he didn't, make Uri get a red card,
No,
which blew the whole thing out of the water.
I was not surprised to see Courtney out there. I was surprised to see Robbie out there.
Right.
Volater. Yeah, I was surprised too.
I agree.
And not because
I
he's
agree.
bad, but just because I didn't expect to see those two.
I agree.
And then my first thought was, they're rotating for Open Cup. Oh, wait, that's next week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I agree. I was surprised by that addition as well.
I expected it. I would have not been surprised to have Courtney and Fontas or Courtney and Izzy.
Agree.
I would just like to speak out for the voiceless on our show. And you don't have to feel bad for Peter Vermes, because I think a lot of people listening definitely do not feel bad.
Oh, I'm sure.
For Peter Vermes.
Hey, I said you got to have a plan B.
Well, no, and personally, I hated the move because as mad
Which
as
move?
The double swap at the center backs.
Right.
As mad as he could be about the way that goal was scored, it was a really well hit through ball, and it was a good run by Gustavo Bo, who's a DP, to slip between Ford and Volater. But prior to that, or even after that shot, after the goal goes in, at that point in the game, I think even leading into halftime, at halftime, New England has 2 shots, 1 on goal. And that was it.
Yeah.
It's not like they were just destroying us and that it was recovery run after recovery run and we're just playing scrambling defense. Ford had a couple really nice recoveries. That's kind of his MO for the season.
And
He's
so
a
did Zusi.
really nice player. And was Zusi's in the first half or the second half?
First half.
Yeah, it was the first half, wasn't it?
Because it was coming right at me.
Yeah.
For
But, as mad as you can be at Robbie for letting Bo make that run, and he just missed the header. It wasn't that bad.
No. The ball wasn't shut down either.
Right. Who did that?
The original pass.
Yeah, who didn't shut
That
that?
was Zusi and...
Zusi, I think.
Yeah.
I'm just not sure that our center backs were so bad that they both needed to be swapped.
Yeah, I'm just bringing up what he said for discussion purposes. So
Yeah, because I don't agree that they were that bad that they need to be swapped, one or both. I didn't think the defense was bad at that point. It was a mistake. I mean, but you got beat by a really good striker who, after I went back and looked at the play, I mean, he made like 2 or 3 different moves, and Robbie basically just he couldn't make the right move because Bo just kept making the next move and got by him.
And that was also like an inch perfect pass because Ndinbe's not like on screen, like you can't see where Ndinbe is in the line, but Bo's arguably leaning offsides. Yeah. I mean, it was as close you can get. It was a great run.
They said Ford kept him on the broadcast. Were they? Okay.
They're idiots. They're broadcasters.
I didn't watch it.
I don't mean you, Jake.
From
Jake
TV.
Peterson, you are not in that category. You are an intelligent, well-thought, spoken.
You meant Twellman.
Right. So, no, I know, but I'm just shouting out to Jake because he gave
Jake,
me
friend of
shit.
the show.
So I know the announcers, who they were, and they're still idiots.
Yeah. Ouch. Ooh.
Not a fan of Twellman. Not a Twellman podcast here.
Well, can we talk about the rumor that Twellman broke?
Yes, let's talk about the potential signings. There are now 3, right? Today we've learned of a third potential that is kind of squashed, but
Well, I'm not saying it's not true. It's just
Sporting KC has been linked with 3 various players. David, why don't you give us the 2 that Twellman broke at halftime there? Because I think you're working on a story.
Yeah, so I'm in the middle of writing a story about a deeper dive into William Agada. He's a Nigerian striker, although can play on the left wing a little bit, who's currently playing in Israel for Hapoel Jerusalem. He's got 8 goals on the season, which I think has him ranked. Wait for it. 8 goals is 14th in the league, but he's got 74 attempts on goal, which is 5th in the Israeli league. You know, it's tough to get a really good comp for him because not a lot of players leave the Israeli league and apply their trade in MLS or some of the other kind of top leagues. Although we do know one pretty good one.
Yeah.
We do know one pretty good one. He's about 5'10", and it's tough to find footage of him to see, you know, really what kind of player he is. So it's tough to say whether he's going to be strong in the air, whether he's fast or anything like that. But he's been productive.
And now we've been linked with these players, but Twellman was basically just saying that these are going to happen whenever the window opens.
48 to 72 hours.
So we're operating on the just linked. Sporting KC is linked with these players.
Yeah.
Well, there's
Twellman's usually right, but he's not always right.
Right.
Well, there's some interesting roster stuff to have to figure out. How many international spots do we have available? What's going to happen with Vojnovic? Do we have to pay transfer fees? Because the other player, Eric, I don't know. I don't want to try and pronounce his last name.
No fines for the first attempt.
Tommy.
T-H-O-M-M-Y.
Yeah,
we'll go with that.
Plays in the Bundesliga. He's a winger midfielder. Going to be kind of a Daniel replacement, if you will. He's easier to find. He's easier to find footage of. I think he's out of contract, but Agada, I think, is still under contract with his current club. So I don't know if it would be a loan, like Vojnovic, or if we're paying a transfer fee. We don't have a ton. We can't buy another DP. So there's some interesting questions we have to figure out.
Well, the easiest way, I think, is to put Polito on the season-ending injury list, right?
Well, that doesn't help with a DP.
But it helps with the international spot.
Helps with an international spot. There's always a chance that they've got a couple of green cards already out there that we just don't know about.
True.
And if you sent Nicola back, you would get that international spot
Which
back.
would not be surprising at all.
Oh, actually, you know what I said about green cards? That's not true because the green cards can only be counted if they happen before the start of the season.
Oh,
before the roster freeze.
Okay,
so that's a rule that MLS changed, except then gave Charlotte a exception to that rule because MLS can't follow their own rules. So they allowed Charlotte to break the rules, but not anybody else. So yes, they would still need to get 2 international spots if they signed both of those, unless there's something else we don't know.
Because we have 1 now, so we just need 1 more.
Yes. And then Chad did a great piece on thebluetestament.com where he did kind of a deep dive on Eric Tommy. So check that out. But apparently it's reported that Twellman, Thad's favorite reporter, said that he would be a TAM signing. And again,
what a strange thing that happened there on that broadcast. They were teasing transfer rumors at halftime. I know that he's broken stuff before, but that was just so weird.
He's said that before, though. I mean, and in fairness, he's usually right about them, or at least there's
during a
truth
broadcast
to them,
like that?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. It was an odd thing.
You talk about how great the two teams on the field were?
Yeah.
No, his
that's
first
true.
phrase was Sporting needs help.
Ain't that the truth?
Yeah.
All right. Any final thoughts on these 3 players? Do we need to talk about the Nashville
We didn't talk
game?
about the third one.
The third one, Sonny Kittel, I don't know how you say his name, is an attacking midfielder who plays for Hamburger in the Bundesliga.
Hamburg.
Yeah, I don't watch the Bundesliga, so I don't really care.
Bundesliga.
I don't know. I don't care how to pronounce it. 29-year-old attacking midfielder. He's valued at about 2.4 million euros. So I don't know how we would be procuring this person, but we were linked to it. Maybe not, depending on your interpretation of German.
It's a weak rumor of the 3, the weakest.
It reported on Transfer Market through Bild, which is a big German sports newspaper.
Well, there were some reliable people tweeting it out. Pablo Maurer of The Athletic was the only tweeted it out and mentioned Casey as one of the options. I just could not find where he got that from. So
Party pooper.
What division of the Bundesliga do they play in?
You and your journalism. Hamburg. They're probably. Did they just get promoted? Don't they bounce around? They go back and forth like every couple years.
I was talking about Party Pooper SC.
Sorry.
All right, so who's surprised that none of these players are holding midfielders?
Well, that's fair, but
I'm not surprised. I think Vermes rates Uri.
Oh, Lord.
oh,
Really?
no.
I think
Does
he
he
does.
still?
Well, because the most obvious problem we have is in the attack. It's missing Gotti.
True,
Missing
I
Polito.
agree.
So
I agree. But
I think he probably still thinks that we're one piece away. That Polito was the attacking piece we needed to win MLS Cup, and not that we have holes all over the field.
with Gotti and Jose Mauri.
Plus, you have Remy Voltaire who can play there. So if you have enough options up front, and you're not having to play Remy well out of position, you
Right.
can then move him back to the six.
Yeah, I
So
agree.
he's an option.
It depends on what Remy's knock is. Is it like a knock or is it like a
Well,
knock?
No. I'm just talking the logic of why you were
Sporting
looking for
KC knock
attackers.
or
So that's why the logic that they were looking for forwards and midfielders,
Right.
not necessarily holding mids. That's because Remy was
Agree.
an option.
Agree.
And go back to being able to afford these moves if they're real or if they happen, because unless they've changed the rules, you used to be able to have like fake DPs where because you basically have a prorated half season.
Right.
So you pay them like you would pay a DP, but it's not a DP money because it's only, $500,000. And then next year they become the DP. So you would have time to buy out a DP or let one go or something like that.
Introducing Royal Caribbean's newest ship, Icon of the Seas, the ultimate family vacation. The ultimate 6 slides, 8 neighborhoods, 0 compromise vacation. The ultimate never done that, can't wait to do it vacation. The ultimate chillin' by a different pool every day of the week vacation. This is the Icon of Vacations. Icon of the Seas, arriving in 2024. Book today. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
I'm just being the devil's advocate here. Is there any sense of, should we not go frantically spend a bunch of money to salvage this season if it is going to hurt potential moves in the future? No.
Well, yeah, I don't think these moves are for this season, right?
Well, yes and no. But maybe I misunderstood what you're saying, so I apologize.
I didn't even really know what I was saying, so I'm just...
I would not want to go frantically spending money to try to save the season.
Right.
I think that's short-sighted, and that just burns you next year and the year down the road.
That's not Peter Vermes.
Because it then constricts you in what you can do with the next salary cap, the salary budget and contracts and all that stuff. That's why you'll see some teams do that, and they'll play really good for a season, but the next season they have to get rid of a lot of players, and they're just shit. So Peter doesn't typically do that. And I just hope these moves aren't that we'll go ahead and spend a bunch of money on somebody who turns out to be crap.
Well, and Sonny Kittle or whatever his name is, he's a 29-year-old. That's a win now move. You know, that's and at this point with the team being as old as we are, right? I think we're the oldest team in the league or one of the oldest teams in the league. That for me as a fan of the club, that's not what I'm looking to see. We need to get younger, we need to get faster. Without being able to watch any clips of Agata, I don't know if he's good or not, or if he's fast or not, but he's young. And probably has a lot more upside and promise. I think I personally am tired of seeing us try to add that one 29-year-old thinking that that's the key to putting us on a championship run. And at a certain point, we need to turn over the roster and get younger players.
I know I've brought this up once already in this podcast, but I'm going to do it again because I guess you didn't hear me. 3 U22 international players. Why do we keep forgetting like this doesn't like that doesn't happen? Those are 3 very good players. They're 3 very young.
They are. How many guys make the game day roster?
That's fair. I'm just saying we were talking about building for the future, turning over roster, and and then you throw Cam Duke in there, Felipe Hernandez. That's 5 very good young players.
Yeah, some of that's just by necessity, but and Zusi runs up and down the field like he's like 23.
Yeah.
He made that one run, but like 2 runs before that, I watched him gallop by, and I was like, man, he looks like he's running in slow motion.
Well, also that's who I forget the guy that he ran down, but that guy looked old as well? Was he also
Gustavo
slow?
Bo, wasn't
that was the striker.
Yeah. I think he was slow as well, but I will remember that run from Zusi for a while. After he's retired, I will remember that run. It's entirely insignificant in a horrible season, but that just embodies Graham Zusi for me.
Which, by the way, I did ask for maybe Zusi being our next pod interview.
Yes, I want to ask him if he was proud of that moment.
He'll give you a very moderate, mundane response.
Yeah, that's the challenge there with Zusi is how do you get Zusi to loosen up a little bit? That's a difficult one.
He talks
Scotch.
very slowly, very quietly,
Very deliberately.
I remember you're like making fun of him, but
no,
his first
that's
2
honest.
seasons, that is exactly what he sounded like.
First 2 seasons.
Like, he's gotten a little better, shows a little more personality now, but there were times they'd put a microphone in front of him, and I was like, I'm not even sure if he knows that they've put a microphone in front of him. Like, he's just, like, thinking, he's very collected, Zusi.
Okay, so Gotti Kinda's 28, guys. At what point does a player, you said that this rumored guy's 29, you're like, I don't want somebody that, he's not for the future. So at what age is it where you're like, okay, that guy's not for the future?
Here you go. This is a good challenge for David. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm with Robert on this. That's up there, David. Come on.
Because 29 is close to it, right? I think.
I don't know.
Depends on
Let's
the
see what
position.
David says.
Depends on the position and the wear and tear on a body.
Like a center back? Center back, 29 is probably.
Yeah.
And Izzy is what, 30?
Or keeper.
It depends. Keepers peak late. It depends on a lot of things. It depends on how close are you really to competing, right? The Pulido move is a great move on paper when you think we're one piece away from winning. So you can go out and sign an older, very established player with a lot of skill, not making an investment. It depends. Do you think that that's where we're at with the team? If so, add an older player who's at maybe in their prime or towards the end of their prime, but can give you that 1 or 2 years so you can win a trophy. The other part of it is, what's the business model of the club, right? I made this point on the site the other day. Pulido's a sunk cost. We are not going to sell him for a transfer fee anywhere close for what we paid for it.
Or at all.
And our owners can do that, right? Which is why I don't think we're a small market club, because we got a lot of money. But other clubs are looking to invest in their players and sell them on. Guys like Busio. But it's not just a matter of do we get a homegrown, which costs us nothing, and then we sell him and it's all profit, but do you invest in a Miguel Almiron and then flip him for double what you paid for him? And if that's the model that you want to operate under, one, it makes more money for the club, arguably, but 2, that's when you get your young, dynamic attacking, or not even attacking players, but your young dynamic players in, right? In an ideal world for me, we sign Logan Ndembe for however much he cost us, and then we flip him for double or triple in 3 years or 2 years or whatever. And
shut your mouth.
Cody get real sad and wouldn't have any other Cavs still cap, but maybe we buy another set of Cavs with that money. And so
Bionic Cavs.
It depends on where we think the club is in terms of competing and how we want them to look in terms of the business model. right now most MLS clubs don't make money or barely make money. And I think the last I saw, Sporting is making a profit. They're not making a huge profit. It's not like they're not making money hand over fist like the NFL is. And
All right, Mr. Lawyer, I just heard a very long answer, and I didn't hear an answer to what Robert asked you. What's the age?
The answer is it depends. But
He said it depends.
Okay,
Yes.
that's
I'd rather have players closer to 25 than 30.
But Vermes' philosophy also is he wants a veteran leader on every line. Would you agree? Someone who's been there, who's been through a lot, who can tutor some of these younger guys.
Now I'm going to flip to David's side. Yes, I would agree with that.
Yeah.
However, that doesn't require you to sign a 29-year-old to have a veteran leader on that line. Okay. Now I'm going to flip back to the other side. 29 is I'm going to back up again. You said 20. You'd rather have somebody 25 than 29. I'd rather have somebody 23 than 25.
Agreed.
Okay.
Oh yeah. I'd rather have a 21-year-old.
Okay. Don't go too
I
far.
can name that tune in 2 notes.
Yeah, Cody's about to walk himself into a
because
prison
that's
sentence.
a level that you will be able to still sell them in the future. 25, there's a fair chance you sign them to a 4-year contract. They're 29 and they just play it out and walk off and sign
4-year
1-year
contract. When does that happen?
A lot.
Does it? Okay.
I agree with you. And, like, I love Johnny. I absolutely love Johnny Russell. But at the end of this contract, we're getting nothing for him.
Right.
He's just going to play it out and be done. And it's a sunk cost.
We have gotten everything from Johnny Russell.
His name's going to go up on a wall.
Absolutely.
Hopefully over top of Wolf. But anyway.
And I'm going to paint my face blue for it. And, go full Braveheart cosplay.
Good shout. We should all do that for his induction day.
That's going to be a heavy scarf, too. Like the full fur.
Kilts and everything.
Yeah, and on one side it says Johnny Russell, on the other side it says Freedom. That'd be great.
No, should it say Johnny F?
Johnny F.
Shouldn't. Yeah. Anyway.
Sure.
The F stands for freedom or something else.
Mm-hmm. At some point, though, your discussion about are they 1 player or 2 player away from something, I don't think this team is like 12 players away, right? 2 or 3 players, and they're back in contention for the top. I mean, it doesn't take a lot to make this team because of the consistency. That's part of the success that Peter's had. Is there's been years where he's like, 10 people gone, brought in 6 players, added a couple more later on, and those guys won an Open Cup. That's very possible.
I don't want to be the guy that toes the company line too much, but I agree with the idea that a couple key players in a couple key moments, and there's a big point swing so far this season.
Yeah, and again, Peter deserves blame for not having enough backups for certain positions, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But there is still the 2 DPs injured factor, the Jose Mauri leaving, 3 homegrowns leaving. Those would be great to have right now, just to have the young bodies to throw out there, except the reasons they left might mean they never saw the field anyway, even under duress.
Now, we're not just making excuses.
No, these are
listener in the audience. We're not towing a company line there, which we were accused of. If you're a Redditor, we were accused of towing the company line. But if that's what we're doing, then Taylor Twellman is also towing the Sporting KC line, because that's what he started off with. That broadcast was just very quickly, obviously. This has never happened in the league, a team losing 2 DPs, so things are not going to work out well.
Agreed. So if you were listening, which it sounds like you're not because you're a Redditor who says you're not listening anymore.
This person's not listening anymore, apparently.
But I've known a lot of people who say, I'm never listening again, but then complain about the show the next week. But if you're listening, come down to Strange Days Brewery and
fight that.
If you're under 5'2", yes, no.
Sunday. Wait, no, that's a Saturday.
Come down and talk to us.
Is Mike going to be here to give out Mike stats?
I'm not. I think Mike may be out of town that week.
Yeah, I think he was.
So no Mike, but you can come yell at us.
We can text Mike.
Yes, he responds. We can do that.
Do we want to give a shout out to a former Shade of Bluer?
Yes, we do.
Before we get out of here, Ali Trost.
Congratulations.
A big congrats to Ali Trost. Her name is now Wait, what is she going with? Is she sticking with her name because she's her own brand?
She's going by Ali.
I want her to stick with I hope she sticks with Ali Trost. It's a strong brand.
Think it'd be Ali Trost Martin.
Trost Martin?
I don't know.
That kind of rolls off the tongue.
And the Bundesliga.
Just like Bundesliga. But no, we're all very happy for Allie. It looked like a beautiful wedding. Congrats to Tom and Allie.
Did you see one of the pictures she posted on Instagram? It was at the Kaufman Center, and they had the rainbow outside.
Rainbow?
Yeah.
How annoying are they? They're just a freaking fairy tale couple, aren't they?
I mean, that shit just happens for them. I'm like...
And also congratulations to a friend of ours. He was on our pod last season. Former Wizard, Davey
yes.
Arnault, for being inducted as Sporting Legend. Well deserved, Davey. You are a great man. Appreciate all you did for Thad and I when you were a player.
Always willing to talk.
Is he listening?
Oh, yeah.
Does he listen?
Are we going to send this to him? Is he listening? Because we're speaking specifically to him here.
I don't know, but Davey, you're the man.
He'll feel the vibes.
Yes.
He was on this show, huh? Am I
Yes.
just forgetting about this?
Last year before the Austin game, yeah.
Oh, over Zoom.
Yeah.
Remember
Okay.
when Austin came in and the PR department and listened?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
They
The
didn't
guy
trust
was
us
listening
talk
to it.
a guy that we already knew.
I
so.
forgot about that. Okay, cool. Well, congrats to both of them. And
Wait.
Whoa,
Before we go,
a
two
reminder.
things. Two
Okay.
things.
What do you got?
One, I need calf power rankings
I have no calf power. I didn't prepare them. I wasn't ready.
because you didn't watch the game.
And no, I did. I was just not there. So
Your boy Ndembe played, so I'm assuming you're going to give him number one.
Yes, and he had one of those plays in that game that I specifically was thinking of, where the dude is so good. He needs to be our he needs to be our fullback for the next decade. And there was one play. It was all we had was he got around the corner, made a great play, beat a defender, outran him, and sent a ball right into the box. Perfect placement. But we didn't have we had Cam Duke. No, I think it was Felipe Hernandez. We had Felipe Hernandez as our striker, and that was just one of those plays, Thad, where I'm just watching this, thinking, yeah, just one or two players in one or two key moments, and some of these results are very different. Sporting has been in most of these games except for the 5-1, 7-2,
7-2,
7-1.
Okay, so what do you think Polito's thinking watching these games? He was there. He was at the signing after the game. What do you think he thinks watching these games?
Air conditioning is real nice.
I don't know. We don't
No, he
know
was
Polito.
outside.
We haven't had enough of him to I don't know what he's thinking.
I saw him up in the seats up there. He was outside.
He's
He
got to
did have
be
a little
shaking his head to some extent.
Colored drink in his hand, though.
Yeah.
Okay, and he's been clubbing too. I saw that on IG. He was dancing around.
All right.
So he's getting there.
Legs healed up.
Yeah, must be.
He's getting there. Still parked in the handicap spot at training ground, but
I do think that's the reason he's not on the season-ending injury list, though, is there is a reasonable chance he could come back at the end of the year as Sporting squeaks into the playoffs.
Yes, they got to make
that
the
run to the cup.
That's what's funny about that is yes, it's possible he comes back, but they got to make the playoffs for it to be possible, I think.
Who was it? Was it Lothar Matthäus, who was supposedly injured way back when he was found on the beach relaxing or vacationing and big
Yeah,
uproar?
sounds right.
Yeah, sounds like a Matthäus
Sunil
thing.
Chetri scored another goal this weekend, another international goal. Did you guys see that?
Yes. another
Somebody
former-
posted it, yeah.
Which, by the way, they're doing FIFA's doing a documentary on Sunil Chetri.
Oh, he deserves a documentary.
And guess
what
who
a
they
strange
came
thing.
to for photos of him?
Ooh.
I will have photos in a FIFA documentary.
What? Our very own
Nice.
Thad Bell.
Nice,
Where will
Thad.
it be streaming?
I do not know yet.
Will they inform you of this? Were you important
They
enough
said
to
they
know?
would.
You'll be in the credits, too?
Yes.
Oh.
Okay. Well, so while we're getting plugs in, Thad, what's your Twitter?
The back post?
At the back post.
Yeah.
Robert,
At SBKC Life.
if anybody has mean things to say about us, Cody, what's yours?
Yeah, well, you're just going to skip me? You're
No,
going around
I'm
circles just
asking.
No,
I'm
he's
asking.
with you.
That
He
Cody,
said
though?
if there's mean things, go to Cody. That's all he's saying.
I am at that Cody, though.
And David conveniently has no Twitter.
That's right. But also, just shout out to Chad at Play490. Check out thebluetestament.com. Blue Testament on. We have an Instagram, yeah?
Yeah.
Maybe.
That doesn't post enough pictures, but yeah.
Blue Testament, Casey.
And Blue Testament on Twitter. And also, big shout out to Strange Days Brewing for hosting a watch party, letting us hang out here, watch Arrested Development on television.
And June 25th, watch party. Be there. David's still thinking about it, but we're going to be there. Go Sporting! Woo!
Don't seem so tough. And 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.